All right, this is the video for the Chapter 3 practice test. This is your answer key, so feel free to skip ahead to numbers that you know you need to look at. Number 1, select two segments parallel to segment HI. So I want them to be parallel and to this segment. HI is right here. So there's a couple different answers here that are okay. I'll just do two of them. FG would work, LM would work, and so would JK. They're all moving left to right across the page, which means one of my answers I'll put as, what did I say here now? FG would work. That's this one. And then either LM or JK would also work. Okay. Which plane is parallel to KMLJ? So KML and J are all on the bottom. The bottom plane is parallel to the top plane. So F, H, I, and G, those are the ones I need to look for. G, I, H, F. That would be the top. So the top is parallel to the bottom, the left is parallel to the right, the front is parallel to the back. Skew, so something that's skew to segment HI. Okay, we're on this segment again. Skew means that's not moving the same direction, but they still don't run into each other. So this one's moving left to right. Something like KM is moving kind of front to back. So the problem is KM would go right underneath HI. They never get close enough to touch. So KM would work, so would JL. And then there's going to be some more as well, like FJ would work. It passes behind HI, and so would JK. So I'm going to go with one of the first ones I said. I'm going to go with KM or MK. That's this one. Multiple correct answers for number 3. Number 4, one pair of alternate interior angles in the diagram is blank and blank. So alternate interior, okay, interior would be in between these two lines. So I'm looking at these 4 angles as interior angles, 2, 3, 6, and 7. So those are the only ones that are interior. If I go with 2, it has to be alternate interior with 6. My other answer would have been 7 and 3. It should take these in either order as well. Now let's do same side interior. So again, here's my interior angles, 2, 3, 6, and 7. They're in between the two lines. I want them to be on the same side of the transversal now, so I could go 6 and 7. Or I could go 2 and 3. Those would be my two options there. Corresponding, there's a lot more possibilities here. So 1 is going to correspond with 3. That's kind of the upper left angle of these 4, so is angle 3. 2 corresponds with 4. 5 corresponds with 7. 8 corresponds with 6. You can do any of those. There's 4 answers that would be correct for that one. Number 7, 2 and 6 are blank. Well, here's 2 and 6. We already answered this one once. They're interior angles. They're in between these two lines. And they're on opposite or alternate sides of the transversal. These are alternate interiors. Number 8, 1 is congruent to something by corresponding. So the angle I'm going to put in here is not the only angle that 1 is congruent to, but there's only one angle that 1 corresponds to. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all at this intersection. Angle 1 is in the upper right of those. If I go down to this intersection, 5 is also in the upper right. So 1 and 5 are corresponding. 2 is congruent to blank by alternate interior angles. So now I'm looking at alternate interior. Here's 2. I need to go to the alternate side of that line and find angle 7. 3 and something by alternate exterior. So 3, I got to go to the exterior and go to the other side of the transversal. So 3 and 6 would be alternate exterior. And then 4 is lower left here, corresponds with 8. So 5, 7, 6, 8 in that order. This one did not have multiple answers. All right, 4 is same side interior with, well, here's 4, here's 7. They're on the same side of the interior. 7. 2 is in same side interior with 5. Number 10. If angle 4 is 125 degrees, then angle 7 is something. So with these, you have to look at, are they equal to each other or equal to 180? So it's either going to also be 125 or it's going to be 55. It depends on what we see here. So 4 and 7, let's start with the vocab. They're on the same side of this transversal coming through, and they're on the same side of the interior. So they're interior and they're on the same side. So that makes them same side interiors, which means they're supplementary, which means the correct answer should be 55 here. Whoops, 55. Because 4 and 7, since they're same side interior, that means they're supplementary, which is where the 55 comes from. Remember, same side interior is the only one that means supplementary. They both start with S. Okay. When you're saying that something is parallel, notice how all of my options have the word converse. Okay. You use the converse when you're trying to say that two lines are parallel. So then it just becomes vocab. So it's converse of something. Again, these two angles are in between A and B, so they're on the interior, and they're on alternate sides of the interior. Converse of AIAT is the appropriate answer. Number 12, why are A and B parallel? Okay, so same thing, it's going to be converse of something. Look at these two angles are marked congruent. This is an example of corresponding. Upper right, so converse cap. What is the value of y that makes A parallel to B? Okay, well, these two angles, if they're here, these upper right angles, they have to be equal since they're corresponding. So I need to set up y minus 10 equals 100. Okay, so let me set that up. All right, we have y minus 10 equals 100. All I got to do for that is add 10 to both sides. And I see that y has to be 110 degrees. Okay, adding 10 to both sides. So when you get something like this, you're either setting them equal to each other or equal to 180. Since these were corresponding, they have to be equal to each other. So what did I just say? Y has to be 110. This one's obvious. No explanation needed. All right, given two of the angle measures in the triangle below, find the third angle measure. So I have 62, 24, and something. Okay, it doesn't matter which one is which angle. Okay, just know that there has to be a total of 180. So let me set up this one. So what did we just say? 62 plus 24, plus 24 plus x has to equal 180. Okay, that's where we're at with this one. All right, if you add 62 and 24, you get 86 plus x has to equal 180. And then we're just subtracting both sides by 86. So it looks like 94 is the answer that we have this time. So 94 degrees should be that last one. Okay, they have a total of 180. All right, same problem, different numbers, 75, 37, and something. This is number 16. Okay, so 75 plus 37 plus x equals 180. Okay, if you add 75 and 37 together, you get 112 plus x equals 180. And then subtract both sides by 112, and you get 68. So that has to be a 68 degrees. Okay. So those, all we're doing is adding up to 180. One more time then, 1945 and something. Okay, 19 plus 45 plus x equals 180. Okay, 19 and 45 make a total of 64. Plus x equals 180. Subtract both sides by 64, and looks like you get 116 for this one. Okay. The three numbers have to make 180 altogether. Now they're going to give you, so now with number 18, they're going to give you an angle on the outside. Maybe that's what you're looking for. But outside angles are equal to the two remote interiors added up. So 1 is equal to 2 plus 3. Okay, and then you can do 4 a couple different ways. We'll get that in a second. So, like I was saying, the measure of angle 1 is equal to 37 plus 99, because these two angles, 2 and 3, are given to be 37 and 99. An outside angle is equal to the two inside angles on the other side of the triangle added together. So the measure of angle 1 is just 37 plus 99, which is 136. And then angle 4, you can use 184. Whoops, wrong button. Measure of angle 4 is equal to, you could do a couple different things. You could use 180 with these three, or you can use 180 with these two. This is a linear pair. So 180 minus angle 1, which we just found out was 136. That would be one way to get that one done. Okay, so if you do that, you end up with 44. So notice that these two answers add up to 180. Not a coincidence, because they're a linear pair. Number 19, then, same steps. So they just gave us a couple different pieces of information. They told us angle 1 this time. Whoops. They told us angle 1 was 98, and angle 2 is 55. So to get angle 3, okay, so I know that angle 1 is 98 degrees. That's equal to angle 2, which is 55, plus measure of angle 3. So if I subtract both sides by 55, I end up with 43 degrees. That's equal to the measure of angle 3. Okay, so this one's 43. You might be able to hear my dog barking. He's a dum-dum. Then angle 4, once I could use, since I know 2 and 3 now, then I know that these 2 plus 4 have to make 180, so I could do something there. I still think it's easiest, if I know what 1 is, to subtract angle 4 from 180. So angle 4 is equal to 180 minus what I know that angle 1 is equal to. So 180 minus 98, that should be 82. So that would be this answer. Okay, number 20, find the slope of the line between 1, 5 and 5, negative 1. Okay, slope of lines, what you're doing is you're doing a fraction. On top of the fraction, it's the change in y. So my y's are 5 and negative 1. So I'll do 5 minus, negative 1 on top. On the bottom, I would do the change in x's. So that would be, I did 5 minus negative 1, so I went left to right. I have to go left to right for the x's as well. So I would have to go 1 minus 5 here on the bottom. Okay, this stuff will equal m. Okay, so if I simplify this down, if I simplify this down, I have 5 minus negative 1, which is 6, up top. And then on the bottom, I have 1 minus 5, which is negative 4. Okay, and that is equal to, when I simplify that one down, it's equal to negative 3 over 2. Okay, dividing both of them by 2. So there's my answer for this one, negative 3 over 2. Okay, so negative 3 over 2, that's exactly how I would type it in, and then we'd be good to go. Okay, so the y's up top, 5 and negative 1. and then the x's on the bottom, 1 and 5. Okay, going left to right with both of those. I got 6 up top and then -4 on the bottom, which simplifies to -3/2. All right, we'll do another example of slope. Okay, this time the numbers up top are 4 and 12. Okay, the numbers on the bottom are 7 and 5. So I went 4 minus 12 for the y's, so I have to go 7 minus 5 for the x's. Up top, I have -8 this time. On the bottom, I have +2. And that just simplifies down to -4. So there's the work for this one. Take a look and compare it to what you did. So the slope of this one is -4. All right, now it's getting a little bit trickier. Equations of a line. What is the equation of a line with slope -2, okay, and y-intercept 8? So this is mx plus b form then, okay? The slope is what goes in front of the x. The y-intercept is what's not attached to an x. Okay, we're not doing parallel or perpendicular yet. We'll get there. But for right now, that's all we need to do. Okay. What is an equation of the line through these points? So we're going to have to get a slope first, and then we'll talk about point-slope form. So first, let's find the slope. The y's are 4 and 2. 4 minus 2. That goes up top. On the bottom, I have -10 minus -6. Okay, so up top, that simplifies to +2. On bottom, I have -10 minus -6, which is like -10 plus 6, which is -4, which gives me an answer of -1/2. Okay, which is why over here you can see that all the slopes are -0.5. So maybe it was a waste of time to do that 0.5 right there, since all the options had the same slope, but you should know how to do slope. Now we have to do this, which is put our answer into point-slope form. So here's point-slope form. Okay, let's start plugging some things in. Y minus, okay, there's 2 options in here that are correct because I have a choice here which point I'm going to use. Let's say I use the -10, 4. The y-coordinate is 4, so that's what goes here. The slope I found was -1/2. I'll put 0.5 since that's what the problem did. And then the x-coordinate here is -10, but x minus -10 will turn into x plus 10. And here's my answer here. Okay, so y minus 4 is equal to -0.5 and then x plus 10. So that's one of the correct answers. If I would have used this one, I could have also gotten, let's see, this one as an answer. It would have, these two are actually the same line. So if you have to do point-slope form, it doesn't matter which point you pick. You can pick either one. Okay. All right, parallel, perpendicular, or neither. This is a good one to talk about. Okay, we have to get the slopes of both of them. So I'm going to go a little bit faster for that kind of slope. Okay. Oh, I don't know what I just pushed. Okay, hang on one sec. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit faster for these. The slope of AB, it's change in y over change in x. So I have -8 minus 2, so I have a -10 up top, divided by 3 minus 0 on the bottom, okay, which is just 3, and that's already simplified. Okay, the slope of CD is, up top I have 6 minus 3, which is just 3. And then on the bottom, I have 5 minus 2, which is also 3. So 6 minus 3 and 5 minus 2. Yep, that's good. That simplifies down to 1. So the slope of AB is -10 over 3. The slope of CD is 1. So these are not equal, and they're not opposite reciprocal. So this time they're neither parallel nor perpendicular. Okay, let's do another example of the same idea. So this time the slope of AB, -9 minus -1, that simplifies to -8 up top. 4 minus -2, that simplifies to 6. Okay, those both are even, so I can write that as -4/3. So that's what I'll put here, -4/3. Okay, then CD this time, -7 minus -10, that makes a 3 up top. -7 minus -10. 12 minus 8 is a 4. So this time, the slope of one of them is -4/3. The other one is 3/4. These are called opposite reciprocals, which means the lines are perpendicular this time. So let's move on then to number 26. Another example of the same thing. So we'll start getting the slopes of both of these. AB, I have 2 and 6 up top, so 2 minus 6 is -4, and then -3 minus 5 would be -8. That's going to simplify to +1/2. The slope of CD, I have 6 minus 0 up top, which is 6. On the bottom, 7 minus -5, which is 12, which is 1/2. So this time they're both 1/2, which means the lines are parallel, since they're the same. Number 27 is getting a little more complicated now. What is the equation of the line parallel to this line through this point? What I need to know from this one is that I need m to equal 2. Since it says parallel, I need the slope to be the same as this line. The slope is 2. So I know that y, oops, I'm not ready to do that yet. The number in front of the x has to be 2. Okay, then I'm doing this form again. Okay, and here's the point that I need. So the y coordinate is 6, so y minus 6 is equal to 2 times x minus, the x coordinate is 4. And that's what I'm going to type in over here. So y minus 6 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. This had to be 2, not -1/2, because it said parallel. If it would have said perpendicular, I would have had to do that. Let's do another example. So number 28 now. Now it says perpendicular to this slope, 3, through this point. And this time it says in slope-intercept form. So there's a little bit of extra work here. So with this one, they gave us a slope of 3, but we want to be perpendicular to 3. So since 3 is positive, I need mine to be negative. And then if I flip that fraction, it becomes a -1/3. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. In slope-intercept form, that will be y minus the y term they gave us, which is 5. So we're going to go point-slope form first, is equal to -1/3, that's the slope, times x minus -6, but that turns into a +6. Okay, I want to get this into y equals mx plus b form, so I'm not going to do anything to the first side, but I'm going to distribute the -1/3 into both of these. So -1/3 x, and then minus -1/3 times 6 is -2. Then I'm going to add the 5 to both sides. So I just have y equals, it's still -1/3 x, and then -2 plus 5 is +3. So I'm going to do -1/3 x plus 3. So they wanted us to say in slope-intercept form, which made me do that extra step of distributing. Okay, now these ones, we have to do some moving around before we answer. So it says, determine whether the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. The slope of the first one, I don't have to do any moving, is 3. Y's already by itself, so I already can see that that slope is 3. I need to subtract the y over I'm sorry, the 1/3 x over to get y all alone. So that would look like this. Y equals, now it's a negative 1/3 x because I subtracted it, and then a plus 8. The plus 8 doesn't really matter. But my slope for this equation then, which is the same as the bottom one, is negative 1/3. And these are opposite reciprocals, which means the lines are perpendicular. Okay. Do another one like that. We have to make both equations have y all by itself. So let's start, oh goodness, here we go. With the top one. So I need this 2x plus 3y equals 5 to have y all by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting both sides by 2x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Notice that both of the numbers over here get divided by 3. Okay, that's one of them. And the slope is here, negative 2/3. Negative 2/3. Okay. Second equation, I'm going to start by adding 3x to both sides. So I have 2y equals 3x plus 4. And then divide by 2. Notice that everything gets divided by 2. And here's my slope of the second one. So that's a 3/2. Those are also opposite reciprocal, which means this is also a perpendicular. Okay. And then now, a couple of these, if you get a picture with shapes, what type of angles do you have? So this one, here's my parallel lines, here and here, the left and the right. Here's my transversal. So these are on the same side of the interior. They're in the interior of the shape and the same side of this transversal, which means this time it's 5x plus 4x equals 180, which is 9x equals 180. And then 180 divided by 9 would be 20. So x is 20. So with these, you have to decide, are they equal to 180 or equal to each other? These are same side interiors. Last one, here's one where it would be equal then. These angles are corresponding, which means they have to be equal to each other, which means I'm going to set these equal. Remember, this box means 90. So these are corresponding angles postulate. Oops, I did something again. Then I'm going to set 90 equal to 3p minus 6. Well, then I'm just adding 6 to both sides. And then I am dividing by 3, so 32 has to equal p this time. So p must be 32. And that's it. Feel free to re-watch any of those, but that is how the practice test works. Thanks for watching.